Hi everyone, today I want to give it a go and actually start using these good Inkpressions letterpress handmade stationery inserts. These are called booklets, but I call them inserts because I bought them for my traveler's notebook. And this one, I'll put all the info below, but basically this is a great booklet to get because it has 4 different papers in there, which gives you the opportunity to pick the right one and then buy the right paper, so to speak, that will work for what you want to achieve. So I love watercolor and ink, so that's predominantly what I'm hoping to find out which paper would be great for that. So here's the 80 GSM premium Clairefontaine paper in white. Then I have also here the 52 GSM Tomoe River paper in white. As you can see, the Tomoe River paper in white differs to this white. This is a pure white, this is like an off-white. However, if you go for the Tomoe River paper in cream, it is a lot more creamier and a lot more off-white than their white, as you can see. And then finally we have the 85 GSM Fedrigoni Splendorgel Avoria paper in natural cream. So this one if this one I'd describe as like yellow cream, this one has a little bit more kind of a cool tone, I'd say. So this is a more warm tone cream. Okay, so these are the four papers that I will be testing out today. So the way they've done is there are, let me just double check for you, so there are 3 and 3 papers, which makes basically 6 pages of each paper. So you get 6 pages of all of them. So that makes it 12. Let's give it a go and see how it works. So here is the first one. So this is the premium Clairefontaine paper. Now I have to say that I don't like this pure kind of bluish white paper. I don't like the way watercolor looks on it. So let me try and do a very basic illustration. Okay, so I've got Schmincke Horadam watercolors here, and I've got Princeton round brush in number 6 from their Heritage range, in case you want to know. And I'm going to go into transparent yellow. So I'm not trying to use here less watercolor than I normally would, so this is how I would use watercolor on watercolor paper. Okay, so this is after drying. You can see it's quite sort of wrinkly, and it has that lovely wrinkly sound, which Tomoe River is supposed to do even more. So I'm excited to try it because that will be my first time trying Tomoe River paper. So let's go to the next one. So this is the 52 GSM Tomoe River paper in white. Now I'm going to do a very similar thing of just drawing. Oh yeah, and on the other page I want to show you that there was no bleed through. not for the ink and nor the watercolor. On one area here, I hope you can see, it looks like there was quite a bit of watercolor, and it seems to only just about starting to come through. So that was 80 GSM premium Clairefontaine paper. Okay, so now let's have a look. So I'm going to start exactly the same way, maybe do a different flower this time. Okay, now let's quickly turn over and see what it looks like on the other page. Amazing, no bleed through at all, considering how thin it is. Well, platinum carbon ink pen. This is the fountain pen in extra fine. Okay, so far so good. Now let's do the watercolor. Okay, so this is after drying it, and the paper is behaving surprisingly well considered it's like 52 GSM compared to the previous one. So this is what it looks in the front, and it's got that lovely crinkly sound to it. And then on the back, no bleeding through. It's done actually better than the previous one, because the previous one on one occasion started to do that. Here, if you remember, I had loads of water in this area, loads of water, and quite literally that would be this area on the other side, sorry, there is nothing happening. It's incredible. And the other thing I want to pay attention to, it's actually quite straight, the rest of the page, compared to, if we go back, oh, you can see it straight from here. Look at that. This has done quite badly. You can see all of these lines it has created. It looks quite awful. That's my personal opinion. Yeah, and I love this one. Oh my gosh, I just love it. It works so well as a journal, where you can just really quickly go to the park, take this with you, do a very subtle kind of illustration, drop down some notes where you're going to, you know, that sort of thing. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's kind of very elegant, and it does remind me of that, you know, Japanese way of delicate and elegant watercolor illustrations. So this is once again, this is the 52 GSM Tomoe River paper in white. The next one I'm going to try is the same paper, the same weight, but it's just going to be the cream one. Okay, so I changed the angle slightly, hoping that the focusing will now behave better. I will need to actually set it with a heat gun, because I'm going to go straight in with watercolor, and although this ink is waterproof, it still obviously needs a little bit of waiting time, just not to go straight in. I have loads and loads of sketchbooks, but somehow, you know, I have a 2-year-old, and when we go somewhere, I have to run around him and do all these things. But I do have sometimes a few minutes to myself where I can just do something like painting in the park. And if I had this paper, it would be a lot easier. It just invites you to use it and invites you to create this neat little illustrations, which I haven't even done before. It's incredible. It just like opens up a whole chapter for you. Well, I hope you are as excited about this as I am, because I'm absolutely loving it. Love, love, love it. And where are these flowers coming out of? I've never done this thing before. Okay, so let me blow dry it quickly and come back. Okay, so these are dry now. Once again, no problem at all. The page stays nice and, well, relatively straight. There isn't really anything happening as on the first paper. And at the back, no bleed through at all. Wonderful. Obviously, I wouldn't do watercolor on both pages. If you want to have something as neat, you know, it might just disturb from it. But on one page, it'd be great. And also, again, I've used quite a lot of watercolor right here where the yellow parts are, and no bleed through, as you just saw. Great. Okay, let's try the final paper, which is the 85 GSM Fedrigoni Splendorgel Avorio paper. It's quite a mouthful, and it's the natural cream. So let's go ahead and see what else we can do. Okay, that should be enough. Let's have a look. Maybe also just little lines into the petals. Not petals, the leaves. Alright, final one. I think I'm going to go into the Rose Madame. And that is it. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to dry it and come back. Okay, so here it is dry. I have to say it has behaved really, really well. It hasn't done what the first one has done. Let me just remind you again. So was the first one, and this one is the 85, so it's in fact 5 GSM more than the first one, and it's lovely. No, actually there is a similar area right here which is just beginning. It hasn't bled through yet, but there is a sign of a potential bleed through, and I do like it, but let's quickly compare it to the previous one just because it's a similar color. So that's this paper, and that's this one. This one is obviously feels thicker and kind of has this smooth feel to it as well. You can hear the crinkling of this paper, Tomoe River, and this one doesn't do that as much. So it really depends what you prefer. I have to say I have fallen in love with the Tomoe River, and I'm actually surprised that I like the cream as well as the white, because naturally I would not enjoy the very off-white papers, but I have in this case, so that's great. Yeah, so totally in love with these two Tomoe River papers, and you know, I don't mind the Fedrigoni as well. It's a good paper for sure. Gives you slightly different style, but I am amazed how Tomoe River is taking watercolor. Just quite literally amazed. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful for you, and if you were thinking of buying either of those, I hope it helped you make your mind up. So thanks for watching and see you soon.